I just hit 3,500 elo with this team over here. It put me at number 9 in the world on the global leaderboards. And now I'm going to show y'all how to play a ton of different leads. Now I already put out one video on this, but I was only hitting 3,200 at that time. And in 3 days, I climbed from 3155 to 3508. And a lot of it has to do with knowing how to use the Qwilfish safe swap, or just Qwilfish in general. This thing's an absolute monster on the safe swap. It's going to be a little bit of a longer video, so I am taking the time to put this out. I would really appreciate if y'all could go ahead and hit that like button to help me get a few more views on this, you know, help the algorithm out just a little bit. I really do appreciate it. Let's get it going. All right, into the first one, up against the homie Reezy. Running a Wigglytuff on the lead. I saw a ton of Wigglytuff, and I think I only ended up losing to one, honestly, in this entire climb. The Wigglytuff lead, Corsola as the safe swap, or the answer to my safe swap. It's not really looking great for me. We're going to be spamming out the Aqua Tails. Aqua Tail, of course, is the more energy efficient move. However, Ice Beam does do more damage, so if you're only getting one move off, you'll want to go Ice Beam. Now, this is a little bit tricky, but I'm thinking, you know, Toxapex. Toxapex really shines when shields are down. It has a way better win rate with shields down in comparison to like the 2 shields. So we're going to go ahead and just play for shields down. I'm perfectly fine with it. Of course, it's going to be able to reach the next Nightshade right here. I'm going to go ahead and throw up the shield right there. Do one more. Get this Aqua Tail off. And I mean, I'm expecting the shield right here, right? I'm not expecting to get Switch. That'd be great if I did and I could have my Toxapex on Wigglytuff, but we're going to go ahead and let Qwilfish go down, come in with my Malamar, and really just look to hard farm this down. 2 superpowers nearly KOs a Wigglytuff, so if I can have a lot of energy on my Malamar, we're actually in a pretty decent spot. So they're going to come in now with the Wigglytuff. I have the back-to-back superpowers, but I don't want to throw them back-to-back since the first one does drop my attack. So the first one puts them into the yellow. Going to swap out into my Toxapex, and there is an Annihilape in the back. Now, Annihilape wins the ones against Toxapex. It wins the 2 shields against Toxapex, but you know what it doesn't win? The 0 shields. So thank goodness I played for shields down earlier. We're going to go ahead and throw the Brine. Brine, of course, is neutral. Sludge Wave does do slightly more damage. So again, a scenario where even if it's resisted and you're only getting 1 move off, then yeah, you want to go Sludge Wave. And here, I don't want to risk it. I really don't want to risk them surviving this Brine with like 1 or 2 HP. So we're just going to full send the Sludge Wave. As long as I can get 1 or 2 poison jabs in on this Wigglytuff, they're already in superpower range and this game is won. I know Malamar will be winning this CMP, so I don't need to swap and risk transferring a charm. My Malamar just going down with the superpower. We're going to get that superpower off and that's going to be GG's. Let's go. All right, into the next one. Malamar up against Morpeko. Morpeko, another bit of a core breaker for this team. You will survive 1 Aura Will before they boost themselves, right? So the plan is honestly just tank it and then throw the superpower. They overfarm, so I'm kind of forced to throw the superpower first. I'm expecting them to just take me out with the Aura Will now, and then I can come in with Qwilfish and start spamming out the Aqua Tails, but they actually bait with the Psychic Fangs, which is huge for me. Now I can actually shield this next one up, expecting it to be the Aura Will. Grab their second shield, and then I can clean up with either of my back 2 Pokemon easily. So I do go for the superpower. They make a really nice catch there onto Jumpluff, but we have a hard punish for Jumpluff. And this is what I love about Toxapex. Yeah, it's a little bit of an RPS Pokemon, but that's also an advantage because if it RPSs some of the most common safe swaps. Like here we see a Jumpluff, which is not that common, but we see a Azumarill a lot. We see things like Annihilape a lot, which again, it only wins the 0s, but when you win the 0s, you do come out with a decent amount of health and some energy as well. So it's pretty good. Here we're going to actually end up undercharging. I did throw on CMP. For some reason, I was thinking Energy Ball was 7-7. It's 7-6. It's only Acrobatics that is 7-7. So bit of a misplay on my part. They come out now with the Galarian Corsola, and we're in a bad spot. But I realized I got to just come in here with my Malamar. I'm expecting them to catch here. I wasn't really going to make the foul play anyways, so I do fire off the superpower, and we are able to grab the final shield from this Morpeko. Now I have a lot of energy on my Toxapex. I don't really want to take these Thunder Shocks on Qwilfish since they are super effective. I'm going to go ahead and get this Sludge Wave off. Unfortunately, the clock is not up, so I need Qwilfish to do a ton of work down energy here against the Corsola. Nightshade does a ton to the Qwilfish, so we do have to, of course, shield up everything. They're not going to throw anything besides Nightshade, so might as well just shield the first one here. Go for the Aqua Tail on good timing. Let's see, do 2 Aqua Tails KO? It does not look like it, so we're going to stretch for this Ice Beam. Is Ice Beam enough to take out Corsola from this range? Please let it be so, and yes, it is. So that's GG's. Well played to my opponent, Qwilfish. Putting in work. You love to see it. You love to see it. By the way, that Ice Beam comes like 1 Poison Sting quicker after you throw Aqua Tail, because you got just a little bit of residual energy, and that's all you need. All right, Shadow Annihilate. This is one that, honestly, you could just throw the Foul Play, right? I guess that one, did that one overfarm? It looked like that one might have overfarmed. But normally I just throw the Foul Play on CMP. They're never going to sneak a counter because they always just throw their Rage Fist immediately. You do want to shield up against the Shadow Annihilate. I'm not sure if I have a non-Shadow. Non-Shadow, I actually no-shield and then I'll swap out into Qwilfish. Anyways, they make a really nice catch here onto their Drapion. But it's kind of fine because of it does put them close to being in Aqua Tail range. Unfortunately, it's not quite enough. So I am forced to throw this second Aqua Tail. I don't have a ton of residual energy, and out comes a Dunsparce. Shields are down. And we have a Toxapex that's going to be taking super effective damage from the drill runs. But I still have a lot of HP on this Malamar. I know that Annihilate shouldn't get to another move if they come into my Malamar. So I'm going to actually come in here with the Toxapex, and then I'm going to come in, farm down the Annihilate when they go for the swap. Now we can just throw Foul Plays. This thing's low enough, it has to shield absolutely everything. Foul Play number 1, going to be grabbing a shield. Can I make a superpower? No, they're not going to allow that. That's perfectly fine. They're basically in brine range, and I talked about this a little bit in my first feature of this team. Drill Run just doesn't do a lot to Toxapex, so we're just going to ensure that we are throwing at proper timing here. Brine number 1, grabbing the final shield, and we're at the next brine. I think they're 1 away. I think they're 1 away from the back-to-back drill runs right here, so I think I can just under tap, get this brine off. Or actually, I throw the Poison Jab because of, like, we're not winning that CMP regardless if they have the move, so I might as well get the Poison Jab damage just in case brine is not enough. All right, into the next one, up against a Marowak lead. Yeah, I mean, ground types are scary for this team. I won't lie. They're very scary for this team, but Gastrodon, Marowak, nobody 2-shields them in this lead matchup. Nobody has so far, at least. I don't know. Maybe different elos, people do play differently, of course, and I really hope that they don't 2-shield, but whatever they do, just match shields with Malamar. Yeah, so you can see there that goes through. I don't have to shield the second one. There's times that I do, and I think I guess this time I decided to keep HP on Malamar. It is a bit of an ABB team, right? So there's a chance that I need some HP on Malamar in case there's a ghost type in the back. Then these Foul Plays could definitely come in clutch. But generally I think it's probably better to save shields for Qwilfish. So maybe against ground types, if they don't shield, maybe just let the second one go. Maybe that was a bit of a misplay on my part. Anyways, they're going to be coming in with Carbink. We can punish it pretty well with Qwilfish. We're not going to win the zeros just because of Carbink is so bulky. It takes them 9 to get to that power gym. We're able to get a couple of Aqua Tails off in the meantime to get them into the red. And at this point, I can just Poison Jab down. But it's going to be a Dugong in the back. And boy, am I actually thankful that I have HP and energy on my Malamar. So we're going to go ahead and just go for this Sludge Wave, expecting the no shield because they know I have superpower ready to go. Since they shielded, I'm going to go ahead and do 1 Poison Jab and go for the CMP sack swap here. So we are able to get the CMP. I throw the Foul Play because I knew they were going to shield up anything, and it kind of prevents them from undercharging and getting a farm down there. So now Toxapex comes up again. They could go Icy Wind to permanently debuff me, but it makes more sense to go for the super effective move, which is Drill Run. And now I am being patient. Honestly, I'm being patient because I'm expecting that Carbink to come back in, and I'm not sure that Sludge Wave KOs from this range anyways. So I might as well build up to 100 energy, go for the Sludge Wave now. It doesn't take out even. It doesn't even take out from there. But now I'm only 3 Poison Jabs away from this next brine, which will be enough to take out this Carbink. Carbink goes down. Can I jab down before the resisted ice shards take me out? And no, it's actually going to be a tie. And that's GG's. Well played. Well played. So a bit of a tough team, to be honest. Kind of surprised they played, that they stayed in with Carbink, knowing I had that Qwilfish, but I think a lot of people expect Qwilfish to be running Sludge Wave. I've grabbed a ton of shields off of Dugongs with my Qwilfish, so I think that's just kind of the expectation. Alright, so they went to 7 rollouts there. I expected them to CMP me here. They don't. That's perfectly fine. I gave them a free rollout, but I'm always going to be able to Poison Jab down, or Poison Sting down before they make the next drill run. So we are going to go ahead and swap and just throw up a shield right there. You do have to always throw up a shield in the Dunsparce matchup. A bit awkward, but you get a ton of HP left on your Malamar. I think it's worth it overall. We are able to pull a shield there with the Aqua Tail. Now they're going to be throwing the Hydro Cannon. Again, Ice Beam does more if we're only going to make one move, so we're going to be going for the Ice Beam. Full sending it. Does it connect? And no, they actually double shield. So again, they're probably thinking that I have Sludge Wave. Ice Beam would have put them very low, but it wouldn't have taken out. Now, I love Malamar because of generally it's just going to resist all of the Gator's moveset. Sometimes they're running Crunch. You're going to see one in today's video, I'm pretty sure. But most of the time they're not. And in the back, all they have left is this Talonflame. And look, we just have like so much energy, buckets of energy on this Malamar. We're just going to fire off the back-to-back foul plays. They're not even going to make a charge move on this Talonflame. All they have left is this low HP Gator. And that's going to be GG's. Let's go. All right, into the next one, Malamar into Dugong. So this is very similar to the Dunsparce lead. You're going to want to stay in and let them throw first. Like, yeah, they're going to debuff you. And yeah, Superpower is not going to take out after the debuff. But guess what? It wasn't going to take out before the debuff either. So we might as well let them throw, build up to the back-to-backs, throw the first one, and then if they eat it, honestly, just swap. And yeah, they're going to outpace. But, I mean, if I got to show the drill run, then I'll have a ton of energy on Qwilfish, and Qwilfish up energy is just good into everything. Alright, I mentioned it in my previous video, and I didn't have an example of it, so I wanted to show y'all that Ice Beam can one-shot the Marowak, or put him in Poison Sting down range. Unfortunately, this opponent had other plans. I do still make the Aqua Tail since they go for the full farm down, so I'm able to pull a shield and get some nice damage, but they have a ton of energy here as well. And yeah, I mean, they're just going to be able to pull both shields, unfortunately. It is what it is. They had double ready to go, but in the back, they're going to bring in the Toxapex, and boy, do we have a hard punish for your Charmer. Let's go. Poison Jab's absolutely just shredding through. We're resisting the charms. I'm going to be able to leave this with energy. In fact, I think I can just go for the full farm down. Yeah, they make another Swift here, but it's not really a big deal. I'd rather have energy to be able to threaten that Marowak when it comes back in, and then they have a Dugong. I have 3 moves ready to go, and that's literally all I need, right? It doesn't matter what moves they are. Dugong's so low that I can just throw Brine into it. So you're gonna see, yeah, I do 1 and then Brine, and then I can just combo with the Superpower or Foul Play, whatever move I want to throw. Doesn't really matter. I have, again, just plenty of energy on Malamar. It just seems like when you get those really good leads for Malamar, you just win with extra energy. I don't know. It feels that way, at least. Maybe there's obviously exceptions to the rule. All right, one of the worst leads you could see, Mandibuzz. They're going to be double resisting the Psy Waves, resisting the Foul Play, only taking neutral from Superpower, so we're definitely swapping out of that lead. Going to be going straight for the Ice Beam here. They actually do shield it up, which is unfortunate. Foul Play would basically take out my Qwilfish, and it seems like they don't really want to see it, so I do throw up a shield. And then they actually bait with the Aerial Ace. They come out with the Azumarill. I've already showed Ice Beam, so like I can't even really bluff Sludge Wave here. But I can spam out a bunch of Aqua Tails while resisting their bubbles and resisting their Ice Beams and resisting their players. And they didn't even build up to Play Rough. Play Rough would have been almost threatening there. But now I'm able to get out with a ton of energy on my Qwilfish. And energy on Qwilfish is almost always good, except for the Azumarills in this example. But like, who's really bringing a Azumarill into Qwilfish very often? They only brought it in because I already showed Ice Beam. Anyways, Play Rough comes through. They actually did get me on the CMP there. Small misplay on my part, but whatever. Out comes a Thunderfang Shadow Steelix. Again, I guess like, yeah, it's kind of a core breaker. We could Superpower with Malamar. It doesn't one-shot, but they're low enough now. I recognize I need to be aggressive though, because it's really my water moves that's going to really hurt the Steelix. I have a lot of energy on my Qwilfish. I have almost 2 ready to go. If I can get this Mandibuzz back out and I can farm up energy on my Toxapex as well, that's how I'm going to be able to get through this Steelix. But if I give that Steelix a ton of farm on my Toxapex, then we just lose, right? It's just going to throw double Breaking Swipe into my Malamar, take out my Malamar, and then easily take out my Qwilfish as well. So I'm going to keep some HP there on my Malamar, knowing I could superpower late game as well. They're going to throw 1 charge move and be able to pivot, but we make this next brine, which forces them to throw energy. Psychic Fangs will be plenty to take out from this range. Now I have a decision to make. My clock's not up, so if I superpower, I can't dip. So I think I do actually come in and foul play instead. I'm not sure if foul play is enough, but I am expecting the shield here, and they no shield. They survive, and they're going to be able to throw a move. Is it the Breaking Swipe? No, it's going to be Psychic Fangs, so they're probably running Psychic Fangs Earthquake. So we do get the farm down, and now we can just go for this superpower. What I don't want to do is combo and then predict my combo, because they no shield there, and if they CMP me, if they CMP me on my combo, then I don't get both these Aqua Tails off. So instead, I'm going to stay in. I'm going to do just a few side waves. Make sure I swap in the middle of their Air Slash and get the back-to-back Aqua Tails off. And that's GG's. Let's go. All right, jump off lead. Pretty bad lead since we are taking super effective from the Fairy Winds. It's not the worst, to be honest, for Malamar. Like certain IV spreads, I think you win the zeros against. But we definitely have better answers in the back. So we're going to be luring out a Dunsparce. And I mentioned in the last video that I kind of like the 2 shields here. But here's the thing. You have to go Ice Beam first to really be able to do something in the 2 shields, because they still survive an Aqua Tail from this range. And do I even make another Ice Beam here though? I might have just been straight up been wrong. Yeah, so yeah, if I would have thrown the Ice Beam there on the second one, then we flip switch. And you're gonna see that a lot. It's the same kind of scenario for Diggersby. Same kind of scenario for Clodsire. You want to go Ice Beam first, and then you can win the 2s by going straight Aqua Tail. Here, they actually give up switch, which is great for me. Like I said, Malamar can win certain IV spreads in the zeros, so they probably didn't want to go down to the zeros. But in my opinion, Jump Left's a little bit RPS, so, or maybe it's just for this team, I don't know. But I think as the Jump Left, normally just fight for switch. They're able to take me out. I did throw the Aqua Tail and they call it, which is pretty wild, but that's all right. They're going to be coming out now with a Gator, and we can just absorb energy here on Toxapex, build up to the Sludge Wave, and then come in with my Malamar. Malamar can tank 1 Hydro, meaning if they want to take me out, they have to throw 2, which they're not going to get to before I throw this Foul Play. So I knew I could get the final shield off of them before they take out my Malamar. So since I have that energy banked, I have the Sludge Wave ready to go. This game's honestly just over. We can just Poison Jab down the Gator. We don't need to throw the Brine or anything fancy like that. We just wait for this Jump Left to come back in, throw the Sludge Wave, take out the annoying Jump Left, and Poison Jab down the Feraligatr. I was talking to Homeslice Henry the other day. I was just telling him about this team. I was like, man, like nobody really has 2 answers for a Poison Water. And like that's the perfect example there, right? They had the Dunsparce, and then Gator is just weak. It's just weak. PC battery is running low. I don't have my PC plugged in. I'm gonna be right back. Watch this play. Be right back. We're back. All right. So what do we have here? The Dugong. Yes, yes, yes. We don't love the Dugong on the Qwilfish because, well, we can only throw the Aqua Tails. The Ice Beam would be double resisted, but they farm up a ton of energy in this one. And I recognize that I can get out with HP on my Qwilfish. So again, I'm going to just be aggressive here. I'm going to throw up that shield and I'm going to go for this catch. We have energy on the Qwilfish to be able to threaten whatever in the back. Eat the drill run, no big deal. They do actually get the ice shard down. A little bit uncomfortable, but we can come in with Toxapex. Toxapex doesn't mind the drill run so much. Or I could even come in with Qwilfish and start getting that energy off. But I thought it might be better into something in the back, and here it is. It's going to be a Bastodon. Yeah, not great, to be honest. Not great, but the brines are super effective. It's a shadow, so maybe we need just a little bit less. It's not like they're going to smack down through my Toxapex. They are going to have to throw moves. And now I can start unloading these Aquatails. First Aquatail comes through. If I shield this up, I get to the next Aquatail, but they can probably swap as well. And there is the swap. Annihilape has to shield this because it is the Shadow Annihilape, I believe. No, this is the non-Shadow, but regardless, it did have to shield that. Aquatail would be enough to KO from that range. Rage Fist is going to be taking out... I'm going to have to eat a boosted Rage Fist here. I am going to have to eat a boosted Rage Fist here in the Toxapex. But at the end of the day, I need energy to be able to threaten the Bastodon, and I don't think that the Dugong is going to make a drill run. So we're going to overfarm, throw one move before they're at their next Rage Fist. And now I just have to be careful. I know clocks are probably up, so we're not going to throw that brine immediately. And yeah, there's the Dugong. There's the brine. And that's going to be GG's. Well played to my opponent. Definitely a sweaty battle. Definitely a tough one. I mean, it's Jason. Jason destroys me every season, so I'm glad to at least get one win against him. All right, Talonflame lead. That's exactly what you want to do right there. 4 Psy Waves. 1, 2, 3, 4, swap. And then you can throw 4 Poison Stings, and you will get this Aquatail off before their Fly, Brave Bird, whatever, every single time. The reason you want to do those Psy Waves is they do more damage than the Poison Stings, and Aquatail doesn't KO anyways, so it makes it just a way cleaner matchup for Qwilfish. Plus you have energy on Malamar, which is almost always good, right? They come out now with Drapion. I'm almost in crunch range, so I do go ahead and just go for the Ice Beam. You can see the crunch doesn't quite KO, so I'm going to be aggressive, swap in my Malamar, get this Foul Play off. This will be playing to take them out from this range. And keep some HP and energy on my Qwilfish as well. I didn't want to CMP. I wasn't quite sure if I made that foul play before their next fly. So I do overfarm there. I think I threw one sideway before, which honestly, if they no shield this, or if they shield this, I mean, it probably means they outpace me. But they're going to no shield. Down goes the Talonflame. Out comes the Superior. And this game is just golden again. I mean, again, like they just don't have 2 answers for poison and waters. We can bring in the Toxapex and we can easily take 2 Frenzy Plants and we're going to make the Sled Wave so they concede. Alright, I believe this is the last battle, so we're going to end it as we started with another Wigglytuff lead. Out comes the Diggersby, and this is exactly what I wanted to showcase here. In the 2s, you need to land the Ice Beam, so go for the Ice Beam first. They're never going to shield the first move. Never! I haven't had a single one shield the first move. They don't want to shield an Aquatail when they're going to outpace the Scorching Sands and they think you're going to come back in with Malamar to try to superpower them. Never! Again, I build up to the Ice Beam here because I want them to shield. I want to play off the 2s at this point. I don't want them to no shield and then get a 2-shield advantage. So they do Fire Punch me there, but it really just doesn't matter. We're going to win the 2s. It doesn't matter. It's too late, trainer. Aquatail comes through and does take them out. Out comes the Dugong, and now they know I don't have Sludge Wave. But Qwilfish, I mean, it's just good, man. It's just good. They can't farm me down without taking like a million Aquatails. So here comes the second Aquatail. Aquatail number 2, putting the Dugong near the yellow. Aquatail number 3. This will be putting them not quite to the red, but pretty low, honestly. To a point that I'm going to be able to farm them down with Malamar. And this game is just over because of, even if they double Drill Run, it's not going to put me in 1 charm range. So they're not going to be able to snipe. They go for the Icy Wind and then they come in with the Wigglytuff and we show the Toxapex and my opponent stays in. And watching it back, like, okay, maybe they think that they can get me low enough. They have a Drill Run ready to go. they could drill around my Toxapex and then take out my Malamar with Wiggly, but they realize it's just not going to happen. And that's going to be GG's. Well played. Now y'all get to see me claim the set that did take me all the way to 3,500, which is just wild. I did not think this was going to happen this season. Here's what's even more crazy. I didn't get to put out this team last season, but this team had me in the 3,400s last season, and it took me to 3,500s this season. I was only in 3,100s 3 days ago. So yes, learn this team. Learn this team. Learn the Qwilfish save swap especially. Like, that's the biggest thing. Nobody's running it, and it's so good right now. It is so good. Yes, there's ground types and there's ghost types. It's just so good. Anyways, I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you all so much for watching. If you made it this far, hopefully you gained something from this video. So make sure you leave a like and a comment down below to help the channel grow. Thank you to my channel members for your support. And until next time, this is ChillisFM reminding you to always keep pushing forward.